Hola from Barcelona. I'm here with my colleague Mr. Mark Bairo, and my name is Saif Nawaz. I'm the Managing Director of On Demand International, and we will be asking Mark certain great questions about Europe and Spain. So, Mark is an immigration lawyer based out of Barcelona office, and he helps our clients, people to relocate from all over the world in this fantastic sunny Barcelona, sunny Spain, which is a powerhouse of an economy in European Union. So Mark, thank you for coming and thank you for joining us
Yeah, sure.
today. How are you?
Good. Good.
It's-
Happy to be here.
And it's almost the start of the weekend.
That's always positive.
Always positive, but being a lawyer, you're, I think, stacked with work.
Like always, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a weekend.
Yeah, it's good. Still a weekend. Yes, fantastic. So, Mark, what can you tell us a little bit about yourself and also about how things are in terms of business and opportunities in Spain at the moment?
Okay. I'm 54 years old. I'm a lawyer. I've been working all my life here in Spain. Maybe I'm too local from that perspective, but I've always been living here.
Yeah.
We have two small offices. One is in Madrid, and our main headquarters are here in Barcelona. And from an economic perspective, let's say Spain is looking to receive more people, more businesses, some type of push from outside the European Union. As I think more or less everybody knows, the European Union is changing their mind, their mentality. They need to find new partners worldwide. They're trying to find their own places in this new, let's say, new order that everything is changing.
Yeah.
And Spain is one of the, let's say, open countries, friendly countries to any type of citizenship. We have a good relation with lots of countries. With India, there's a great relation. With China, there's a great relation. With Turkey, with several other countries around the world. And yeah, it's always happy to welcome new business and people.
So, Mark, being a lawyer in Barcelona and inviting a lot of businesses across the globe, where do you think that Spain has its main competitive advantage, and why entrepreneurs should be choosing Spain instead of other European countries as a preferred destination?
The point is, you should answer this question in two different ways. One is, of course, basically, and which worldwide known. Climate, lifestyle, all that stuff is important and attractive to, let's say, all type of international clients. Of course, we have a high, let's say, high quality standard living, really high. People are really enjoying living in Spain.
Sure.
So it's one of the main things. Secondly, the Spanish government, lastly for the last, maybe after COVID, changed their mind, changed their perspective. They are giving really tax advantages for people that they are coming and opening their business in Spain.
Really good.
They are changing their economy. They are changing their legal system to digitalize as maximum as possible, to move faster than we were used to it. Let's say it that way.
Sure.
Of course, we are not number one country in the world. We are trying our best, and our new regulations are focusing in attracting new talents, new business, and new type of startup economies entering our.
So you think that I think the current government that you have in Spain under your prime minister and is more towards businesses attracting more investments and.
I wouldn't say not only the current one. Let's say in Spain, like in all the countries, there are several parties with several opinions, but there's a high consensus on that. This means that left side, right side, both parties.
It's like any other democracy.
Exactly, but both of them right now they have only one agreement. That is this one, trying to
pro-business.
Exactly.
Pro-business
and pro-international business. That's why there's a huge such advantages for people that they're moving to work remotely to Spain or to install their own business here.
Okay, fantastic. And when it comes to Spain, which region do you think, or which are the major cities that is attracting different types of businesses? So, like for example, technology, manufacturing, sustainable energy, agriculture. So, what are the main, powerful or major cities in Spain?
I see. Let's see. For example, Madrid is basically any kind of business are setting up in Madrid just because it's the main city and it's an important hub.
Yeah.
Barcelona is really focused in technology companies and startups. It's a huge ecosystem And they're
So it's more cosmopolitan,
Exactly.
melting pot.
Exactly. Then there's secondary cities like could be Valencia and Malaga that are really growing a lot.
Okay.
But not from agriculture or nothing like that. Just more for remote employees and small business that they're just incorporating into Spain.
Right.
If you're looking for example, agriculture or primary sector, you should go more to secondary cities like could be Lleida or could be Zaragoza. There's also main cities there in that area that they're trying also really link to new technologies and link to the primary sector. So depending in the area, for example, in the north, Basque Country and all that stuff, they are basically in the main industry.
Yeah.
But that's not something that they are really improving on it.
Okay.
I think that the main industry in the European Union need to change their mind and find a new way.
Along with the new technology developments and AI especially, and people coming in over here.
I would say Barcelona, Madrid, Valencia, Malaga, there's like the most
Seville.
international. Malaga, for my opinion, is taking over Seville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think in the last 4 years, there's been a huge investment in Malaga from the Spanish government, and it's
infrastructure. I've been to Malaga, of course.
It's changing radically,
Okay.
and it's growing in a really fast perspective. And also, there's the good thing or important thing from my perspective is the Spain is changing their economy right now or before COVID and all that situation.
After COVID, you mean?
No, before
COVID.
Exactly. Our economy was based in, let's say, in tourism and real estate, and that's it. After COVID, they changed their mind.
And I was going to come to that particular question because Spain, primarily, if you talk about people used to come here or still come here for the sunny side of things, the Mediterranean and getting a lot of sunlight. When you see a lot of British investors and Germans and second holiday home seekers, especially the Europeans who would like to buy a property in Costa Brava or places like that.
That's there.
That's still there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that you think that is also still a vibrant place? Tourism is a big economy here.
It's a big economy, but it's changing. After the Spanish government started accepting remote employees, everything changed.
Okay.
Now we have German, we have Brits, we have people around the world that they're working remotely here, and they are starting and incorporating their own companies here, and this is transforming our economy. Because of course, our Spanish mentality was focused in ABC business, tourism,
real estate,
exactly, and some part of industry. As well. Now this is changing because let's say I think it was last year when they give the numbers of the people who are applying for digital nomad and startup business, it's amazing. The number is 3 times or 4 times bigger than before COVID. So it's changing everything. It means everything means that they are changing in the real estate business due to that. In the technology system, the banking system, everything is trying to get updated to this new reality. It's coming to Spain.
Coming. I mean, of course, I'm going to be asking you certain questions in certain order, but. Where do you, as you said, it's a pro-business government, especially after COVID, there is a lot of influx of international, especially people coming from non-European countries as well, which is India is a big one, China is a big one, Americans are also coming here, Turkish, after the war, Russians as well. So it's a good, mixing pot over here. When you see from a banking perspective, right? So let's say you own a house. What is the mortgage rate in Spain right now to own a house?
Look, right now.
And this is for people who might watch this and say, okay, I want to move to Spain, but how is my house as compared? Because for example, in India, in New Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, or one of these major metro cities, the housing pricing is crazy. It's very expensive.
Here, it's expensive for our perspective of locals, of course. Yeah. And every time you try to buy something, you always pay.
Yeah, I mean that's the rule of real estate.
Exactly.
Yeah. But when you go buy, everything is expensive. When you sell, everything is cheap.
Exactly. How it works worldwide. Generally, now here the rates should be like 2.4, 2.6.
And when you compare that 2.4, 2.6 as a prime lending rate for housing loan, when you compare that with India, for example, we're talking about 9%, 10%. That is way cheaper. And is it easily available?
Here in Spain, buying real estate, it's not difficult.
It's not difficult.
Not difficult.
Do you
point
know
is,
the
of course,
registration cost of
yeah,
property?
generally, like all, generally to have like a proper, let's say proper 3 rooms flat here in
Yeah.
Barcelona should be like 350,000. So you have an idea. Okay?
So 350,000 for people who
regular
might watch this is probably around 2.5 to 3 crores for a 2,000 square foot apartment, or maybe a villa also.
Maybe a bit less, but yeah, but
Maybe a villa as well, like a small villa
but
outside the main city center can come in the same price.
A flat in the city center.
City center.
Exactly.
So outside city center, it could be like 150, 200.
Outside, for example, here 10 minutes outside in Barcelona by motorbike or by car, you could find a proper villa for 400,000. A proper one.
And that's
parking, several rooms,
and that is amazing, because that's not even like 80 to 90 lakhs as compared to the Indian currency, which is extremely cheap when it compares it to like India standards. And when you come here, it's absolutely insane, and that too you get at 2.4 or 2.5%.
Of course,
Yeah.
to obtain this type of 2.5,
You need to have your
exactly. You need to be working here.
you need to have
work and all
your
that.
income. Of course, I mean, at the end of the day, somebody who is moving to Spain, they will have some sort of a tax, filings and stuff like that, and good
Then to
relationship.
also provide information.
Yes,
that's all.
absolutely.
Our bank account here, opening bank accounts and all that stuff in Spain, it's not really too easy. Let's say that way, because there's a lot of complaints and all that. But as far as you are living here, with
It
your
becomes
permit-
easy.
Exactly. Then that's straightforward. They have their control on the tax system, and that's okay. And formally, loans in our Spanish banking system is used to give loans and mortgages.
Especially for the housing.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they don't care.
It's
Because they
always
will
been
take
a
over-
holiday destination and
exactly.
stuff
There was
like
if there's something going wrong, they will take over the house and that's it.
And they can loan up to what is the LTV, loan to value? So if you have 20,000 euros, they loan you 80%, or
No, generally the down payment
70%?
should be 30%.
30%. So 30% is the down payment, and 70% you can get a mortgage or a loan.
Exactly.
I was asking this question. So let's say you buy a property for, let's say, 100,000 euros. How much do you pay for the registration stamp duty to the
Generally,
bank?
it's 10%.
10%.
10% is the
Is a
cost.
flat rate.
Tax, notary, maybe you need to
The
lawyer.
closing cost, the agency
Exactly.
cost, so 10%. So 10,000 euros on top of it, you buy a property. And how long does it take to close a property? 30 days, 60 days?
No, generally, if you want to like start living,
Yeah.
you could do that in a week.
You can do that in a week.
Exactly, but the registration process and all that
30
stuff,
days.
yeah,
30
more,
days.
more 60 than 30. Generally, more than that.
Okay. So we were talking about, the different interest rate and the real estate economy, and I think now I want to come to the question that what are the different form of companies in Spain, and how someone who is a business owner outside the Europe wants to expand in Europe, and what kind of company they can open, what are the minimum capital requirements, and what are the different ways in which that they can enter the Spanish and the European market?
Of course, there are several ways. Let's say the most complicated one should be like Sociedad Anónima, if it's like a limited company with a high
Like
capital.
LLC.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there are different kinds of LLCs. That's
Okay.
the issue. Sociedad Anónima is like let's say the most expensive one. You need 6,000 euros. 60,000 euros as capital.
It's like a joint stock company.
Yeah, it's like
Public limited and stuff.
Really,
It's
like
complicated.
extreme, exactly.
It's a big one.
Generally, people do Sociedad Limitada. It's a limited company.
SL.
LLC, exactly. 3,000 capital, and that's the easiest thing to start.
But you can also start with €1 in special cases.
Yeah, you can start with €1, but then you have like 5 years obligation to subscribe these 3,000.
Okay.
That's basically to guarantee your liability.
Okay.
Limited liability. That's
Okay.
all. Okay.
And this SL company is equivalent to an LLC or a private limited or a BV or a GmbH,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Should be same.
Okay.
The local brother of all these things.
And can an international person also open a sole proprietorship or autonomo here?
Yeah, the point is that the autonomous or sole proprietorship, you need to be a resident for that. For a limited
Okay.
company, you can be resident, but it's not necessary.
Okay.
That's
And can you also establish like a branch or of an international company?
Yeah,
here?
the point is that limited company could be a branch, a subsidiary, a joint venture with a local company. It could be several different types of structures, but the main thing is that legally it's a limited company.
It's a limited company. And what about representative office?
Yeah. The representative office, it's, let's say, it's a legal figure that we use in the Spanish economy. More or less is like the first step that a foreign company will do in Spain. It's more or less quick to establish. It has less cost than a regular company because there's no notary expenses, there's no taxes. And all
It does
stuff.
not have a legal structure,
There's
standing.
no legal structure. You have
So
a
it's an
legal
extension
identification.
of your home country.
Exactly. You're able to do certain type of operations, but you are not able to carry like a proper business in Spain.
So it can do expenses, it cannot do
Invoicing.
invoicing.
Exactly. You cannot do
But a branch can do invoicing here.
Branch and subsidiary can do it, yeah.
Okay, and the tax liability of a branch is still with the home country?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good to know. So
The most frequent should be the limited company
SL
straight away.
company.
Exactly.
And how long does the SL company take to open, and what are the documents that are required?
Generally, it depends if the client is here or not. That's the main thing. Let's say the client is living in Spain, we can open it straight away in a week. You can start your operation, but your limited liability will start after 45 days when the company is fully registered.
Okay.
You can start operating the next day.
Okay.
But you will have some trouble with the bank system and all that stuff. Because
usually you can take the money out, not put the money in.
No, the way around. You can put the money in and you're going to get it out.
Okay.
That's how it works in Spain.
Okay.
But after 45 days or 40 days, then it's okay.
But if you are incorporating from outside Spain, and what documents you need first?
Oh, first of all, you need to choose 5 names in a row because the Spanish government will choose one of these names. And you need to do a power of attorney, someone to trust here, a law firm or a friend or someone that can really show up in the notary and sign the deeds for you.
Okay. And you need a legalized copy of the passport and the owners.
In the power of attorney, we need to do the description, of course, of the
nature of activity.
The nature of activity, all the company name and all that stuff, the address, the direction, and you should include a copy of your passport, notarized and apostate, so they can assign you here like a tax number in Spain, and you are able to operate.
And do you have a pre-described list of activities in Spain you can choose from, or you can choose anything?
No, you can choose more or less anything. The point is that there's a formal list, it's called FENAE, that you can choose one by one. Let's say you could include per company a maximum of 5 main ones. Then you can do like accessory activities related to these 5. Or
like ancillary activities.
Exactly. You can choose that list, but there's several activities in the list that they require a license.
Okay.
The license requires an authorization for the government. This should be generally activities related with, let's say,
insurance
nuclear energy, lawyer,
defense and stuff. But generally everything is open. And can you mix like an IT activity with an export or import activity?
You can mix them. From a legal perspective, you can do it. The point is why you should do it.
Okay.
That's the issue. Generally in Spain, you should have as much as companies as possible to separate the activities for a tax purpose and to reduce the risk between them.
The liability.
Exactly. That's all. But legally you could.
So if someone is incorporating a company remotely, how long does that take once the document is ready with you?
It should be 40 to 45 days to be
for the SL company, the private limited.
Exactly. To be able to be 100% incorporated.
But you can literally start in 15 days also.
Yeah.
And have a bank account in.
Exactly.
And the bank account can take between 2 and 3 weeks, 4 weeks to open.
Generally, after you obtain the deeds in the notary, you are able to open the bank account temporarily. Then you are allowed to, let's say, to receive money. They will not allow you to withdraw money.
Until your company complete, like a registration number will come after a certain number of days.
Generally, for some exception, you can withdraw some money.
Yeah.
That's possible, but they will
limit the transaction. But that's okay. I mean, it's just for 20 days.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying because you need to go there physically and do all that stuff. So it's not like a proper thing.
And you register the company with the company's house, and what do they call that in Spain?
Is the company house?
Sorry, the chambers of commerce.
Okay, here we call it registro mercantil. It's like a
register of the mercantil.
Yeah.
It's like a company house or a Ministry of Corporate Affairs or So the chambers of commerce.
It's something related with the chambers
where you register the company.
But it's a public one. Chambers of commerce here generally are linked to private companies too.
Okay.
So that's more related with the state. But it's similar.
And when you incorporate a company, do you also get like a tax identification.
You get
What's
it's
it called?
CIF. Or
CIF.
CIF. CIF.
CIF.
Exactly. This is the identification of the company here in Spain. And if
Okay.
you want to, let's say, do some business through Europe, you need to get the European one. Generally takes 5 to 10 days, generally, depending on your company activity. And it's generally the same number, and they add ES from Spain, and that's it.
Okay. It's like okay. And what about the VAT and the EORI, which is like the export-import number?
Exactly. These are things that you can ask after the company is fully incorporated.
And how long does that take?
5-10 days. So this
5 days. It's no problem in receiving those.
Maybe they can ask you something to do if they have some type of
like if you have certain activities.
Exactly.
But generally it goes through.
Generally, when you need this is because you are starting your activity.
Okay.
So that's
okay. And what are the minimum number of shares that you need to have in Asociados Limited or SL company?
1.
And you can have X, and does it have to be paid up, or like do you have a concept of authorized capital and subscribed capital?
No, the point is you can have this, but generally you pay it straight away. For example, when we incorporate companies with €1, we pay that. €1, you pay that share.
Simple as that. Is there any share registration stamp duty?
It's all in the chambers of commerce register.
Okay, it's not separately you have to pay. Like in Poland, for example, you have to pay 0.05% of the paid up capital.
No.
So yeah, and you have to pay that at the time at the post office or the national court. So it's not like that. Okay, and a registered office is a mandatory requirement to domicile your company.
That's a good point. Formally, you should have an office. An office, it means like an address.
But virtual office can work.
Yeah.
Okay, a mail forwarding. At least you can say mails. Now, Mark, I want to ask you.
But that's the important thing you need to understand. That if you're registering a company, you give an address. If you're hiring employees, you should be able to say that your employees are working there or they're working remotely. So the address is more based in
any kind of a tax audit or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
or a labor inspection or something. Now, as I understand that, I think Spain has a civil law and a case-based law, right?
Yeah,
it's more or less, right? So pretty much similar to what other European countries have as well.
Everything comes more or less from the Latin law, so from the Romans and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And how do you think, like, you know, when you register a company and when you go and open a bank account, can people also open like a personal bank account when they have the local residence permit easily?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
it's no problem.
As far as you have a local permit, there's no restrictions.
And
it doesn't matter if you have an Iranian citizenship or Russian citizenship, that's not important. As far as you have a local permit, that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And we'll come to the the immigration part and the residence permit part in a bit. But I want to understand a little more about Spanish banking. So what are the top banks, like 3 or 4 banks here?
Okay, top banks. And right now, there's BBVA.
BBVA.
Yeah,
Sabadell.
La Caixa.
La Caixa. Banco Santander.
Yeah, Santander also.
Santander is a multinational.
No, all of these 4 are multinational.
Multinationals,
yeah.
Okay.
And BBVA and Sabadell are just going together. They're just...
Okay.
In 2 months, it will be the same entity.
Okay. And they are government banks, these ones? Semi-owned?
No, they're private.
Private banks.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's a new banking system. Of course, you have like
Wise,
ENG, and all that stuff. There's something.
Yeah, Revolut,
yeah.
Okay, and once you're operating in a bank account, and once you have the company VAT number, what are your obligations in terms of the, running an operating company? So like from a cost perspective and like an ongoing compliance perspective.
I would say that generally, like all the European countries, you need to file your taxes and your accounting every quarterly. That's all. Generally, it's ERPF. It's like personal income tax for employees and for contractors quarterly. VAT is also quarterly. And there's several other special taxes that's also quarterly. Generally, VAT in Spain, it's a bit tricky. Depends where your clients are, what type of services are you offering. So it's a bit tricky. That's why more or less an account.
And what is the VAT percentage here?
Depending on the activity, it could be 5, 10, 21.
5, 10, and 21.
And there's some special
and
ones.
the corporate tax for an SL company?
Corporate tax is 25%, and you file that at the end of the year.
And I think for the first 2 years is 15%.
It's 15, exactly.
So is it automatically 15 for first 2 years, and then 25%?
Exactly.
And can you ask
But
for?
this change every couple of years.
So they change
It's
time
a
to
decision
time.
of the government.
Decision of
Yeah.
the government. Okay. And
For example, startup also is 15%.
startup also. And can you apply as a new company as a startup?
Yeah, you can do that, but then you need to go to a different process. There's a public administration called ENISA that does a evaluation of your business plan and do proper certification of that.
But can you not establish an SL company and then apply for this?
Generally, you could do that before. You submit the business plan, and if they approve that, you need to open the limited company.
Okay. But can you do it later also?
Yeah, you can do it all later. Yeah.
You can apply for it.
Yeah, exactly. And this gives you like tax advantages because you can apply for the Beckham regime, which is a low personal
Beckham, like David Beckham, the
Exactly,
footballer.
That's why it's called Beckham. Yeah. You get your corporate tax reduction, and you get your permits for you and your family.
And the personal tax reduction as well?
Yeah.
I think what I read was it's, I think, 24%.
24% flat rate up until 600,000 per year.
So that's good. I mean, that's pretty much one of the lowest in the European Union when you pay 24% tax.
Yeah. In a flat rate, yeah, that means that all your income related, for example, if you're receiving dividends from India, is free of taxes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The only thing that will be taxed 24% is that, let's say, that type of legal activity based in labor that takes place in Spain.
Okay.
So all the other stuff, it's not taxed.
And when it comes to taxation, is there any tax on dividends, distribution?
Yeah, it's also 25%.
25%? So dividend distribution tax is 25%. And any tax on royalties, if you know?
No, I don't know that really.
Okay.
That's
And
not my part.
that's not your part. So we'll come to your part since you're an immigration lawyer. So before we come to that, so you said the SL company, the joint stock company, which is probably a big one. So SL is the most preferred. A branch office, a rep office can be opened as well. And how long does the rep office take?
2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
That's faster. That's faster.
That's the fastest.
That's the fastest. Now, okay, the entrepreneur, the business owner who's coming to Europe has set up his company in Spain from, let's say, 2 weeks to 35, 40 days. You know, the whole process is complete. The banking is in the process. Everything is there. Now, the entrepreneur or the business owner wants to move here. What are the top 3 routes that people and business owners or employees or the directors or the managers of the company can use to relocate to Spain and operate their business?
The point is, here we should make two separate. There's 2 separate options, completely different. One is this type of persons or people that they've been managing their own companies and their own business in the home country. That should move through ECT's permits straight away.
ECT means ICT, the
ICT, yeah.
Intra-corporate transfer.
Exactly.
Okay.
That really works great and fast. And the one is those people that they're just working remotely, that you to go maybe with a digital nomad business or something like that, or if they're planning to open their business in Spain with a self-employed permit.
Okay.
All these type of options don't really need a sponsorship from a Spanish company.
Okay.
So it's an appropriate alternative for someone who's like moving without any type of contact with local economy.
Now we talk specifically regarding ICT. So let's say somebody who has a group company or a company outside, open a rep office or a separate company with the same ownership, and they want to come to Spain with ICT, intra-corporate transfer. What are the paperwork that these people require, like the documents?
First of all, we need to
business
prove
owners.
The profile. The profile is
the profile is the most important
exactly.
one.
We need to prove, of course, a CV, if they have
resume, CV.
CV, yeah.
Okay.
If they have any type of university degree or diplomas.
So the bachelor's degree, diploma and master's,
enough.
Or a work experience will work?
Yeah, but the work experience, we need to prove a minimum of 3 years related to the sector.
Okay.
So it's also possible, but it's...
But the better is like you have degree and then you have work experience both. Okay.
Yeah, straight away.
And what else?
And we need to prove that the company, that, for example, in this particular situation, the Indian company has been incorporated for more than 3 months. This means that this manager, director, whatever, has some type of more than 3 month relation.
A salary or a contract?
Salary, pay slips, could be contracts.
3 months?
3 months.
Okay. And anything else like criminal certificate?
Of course, yeah.
Police clearance?
Police clearance, Marriage certificate if they're moving with the family, birth certificate if they're moving with their daughters or sons, their
Okay.
kids, whatever.
And that they can also bring their dependents?
Yeah, they bring
Okay.
their
And you can apply at the same time?
or separately also,
Also.
depending on the family.
Okay. And how long does, once you have made this ICT application for the residence permit for the director, how long does that take here?
The point is, by law, it's 20 working days.
Only 20 working days.
Exactly, it's a month.
That's crazy. I mean, that's the fastest probably in the entire Europe. Or
It is, but of course it's always a bad because we're a Spanish economy, Spanish government, and all that stuff. There's always a con, and then
immigration.
we need to obtain
Yeah.
that part of the visa in the Spanish local consulate in
Okay.
Delhi or whatever. That this will take 10 more days.
10 more days. But 20 working days, you get to know that you will get your residence
Yeah, sure,
permit.
of
You
course.
get a decision.
Yeah, and if let's say the clients they have their own Schengen visa,
Yeah.
you can do it straight away here without going to the consulate. That's it, and that will be only 20 working days without issuing
Yeah,
any
and they
visa.
can come
Yeah,
straight away here.
away, yeah.
So this residence permit is for how long?
For 3 years, and you can get it extended for 2 years. That give you access to the permanent residence.
So after 5 years, you can apply for a permanent residency. And once you have a permanent residency, how long does it take to take the citizenship if someone wants to? And what are the conditions for that?
Now, citizenship, to take the citizenship in Spain, you need to go through 2 exams. One is based in culture, which is really
Like a basic
yeah,
culture exam?
exactly. And the one is language.
Language.
Language standards. Minimum
Because
is
I think you need to
A2.
take the oath in the local language, yeah.
But
So
it's really simple. That's not the issue. The point is you need to wait 10 years to obtain the
10
right
years.
for citizenship.
for the ICT, is there any minimum salary
Minimum
requirement?
wage in Spain
Which
should
is
be 1,200.
1,200.
200 euros per month.
So basically between 10, 15,000 euros at the most, 12 to 15,000.
We could say 16 maybe.
16,000 euros. And how much is the social security tax that they need to
That
pay?
you should add 1/3.
1/3. So basically 300 euros a
I would
month,
say that the minimum expense doing all together should go around 18 to 20,000.
20,000.
More or less like income tax, social security, and all that.
So
stuff.
that's about
Like,
1.5 lakh rupees from an Indian standpoint. That's how you need, how much you need to pay. So I mean, I'm just doing the calculation
yeah, but
from
that's the minimum one you need to
prove to the government,
Exactly.
because at the end of the day,
You need more for living. Here.
Yeah.
Without the
Yeah.
money, you do nothing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But does that the social security amount that you pay to the government, what does that cover? Does that cover
Everything.
health
health, pension,
for the entire family,
retirement, yeah,
pension,
schools, everything.
schools is free?
Mm-hmm.
The public schools are free?
medical services, retirement, pension. Do you have any type of accident? Everything is covered.
Everything
for you
is
and your
covered.
family member.
Everything is covered. Even though that you are a Spanish resident, social security payer, and
It's literally the same right to a Spanish citizen.
same.
Same right. No
And
difference.
even though you are outside the country, also the same. Same.
Everything is covered.
And
Our social security here in Spain is
is
huge.
and the medical facilities are also good. It's top notch.
I think it's one of the best public
Services.
medical-
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because the Canadian system of medical, the NHS of UK, and I think Spain is probably,
It's really amazing. Of
Yes.
course, you could get improved.
of course, there's
Everything
always a
goes-
margin of improvement,
yeah,
but
it's. In fact, you can see here people moving worldwide coming to Spain just to get.
the treatments.
So-
Yeah. And this and is how would you say like the integration of an expat coming to Spain from a language, and I think, and Spanish has a Latin culture, and it's very warm people, very good relation, very open, non-racist, everything is good, but like, do you think the culture integration is
Cultural integration is good. And
Okay.
the point is the language integration. In Spain, English is not, let's say,
100%,
Exactly.
but now I think the younger generation
Younger generation,
understands
for sure,
understand
They will learn, yeah, and they can speak. I could say I'm part of the
Yeah,
younger generation.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, learning English and all that stuff. It's not my main language, of course. I'm struggling a bit.
yeah,
but I can.
but you do
understand
very well.
But what is important to understand is in the main cities, Barcelona, Madrid, Palma, Valencia, Malaga, Bilbao, there's no problem.
There's no problem.
Of
When you
course,
go to
if you
villages,
you go to a small village or where
and that's a problem everywhere in that country. But I think English is and Spanish is not a very tough language if someone understands English, right? Because the script is the same and
if you really don't speak Spanish, people will help you. So
yeah.
that's it. It's like not a real problem.
And people are really nice. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
I'm in Barcelona, and this is one place I see, like in Spain, that people actually love where they live.
The point is, in Spain, there's like a high rate of young people moving out of Spain, but there's a high rate of these people coming back to Spain. This means that young people, for example, 22, 24 years old, they go to do their international experience. They can go to Germany, to London.
And they always come back now.
They always come back.
Yeah.
When you are 32 to 32, I can see with my colleagues, everybody comes back.
Everything.
We have a high quality standards here, so
yeah. And it's compared to countries like Germany, Netherlands, France, Sweden, Denmark. Spain is very economical compared to.
The point is, you need to do some balance. Of course, you can go to Dubai where you can make a huge amount of money, run your business.
But well, that's a conjecture. So
but
Dubai is very expensive.
Exactly.
And it does not have the climate.
So it's a balance.
And Spain probably has the best climate, right?
To rise families up and all that stuff, I think we.
And what about the safety issues here? I mean, the criminal crime rate is very less, very less. So I mean. Okay, ICT.
It's not an issue. You can walk anywhere in the city.
Even the girls can go out late. It's no problem.
No.
And the kids can go out as well. So it's no problem. And in the schools, Spanish is the main language. And do they teach English as well?
Spanish. Generally, there's a local language like here, Catalan. Spanish, Catalan, English.
It's no problem.
In Madrid, is of course Spanish and English. That's it.
Okay. And so ICT, you said, is a brilliant way for entrepreneurs and business owners who are opening a group company or a branch or a rep office or a subsidiary, and they can move literally in 20 days by law. How do you see, because I'm sure there is people coming from all over the world exploring this option, how do you see the success of these applications if you have the right profile? So you said all these documents which we just called, the degree, the experience, the pay slips, the police clearance certificates, if everything is in order,
it should work. Yeah.
It should work.
It should work.
Yeah. So it's a very straightforward thing.
Yeah. There, of course, we can never guarantee 100% success.
Yes. But it's a very, very. I mean, it's very rare that they look at an economic opportunity.
Spain is looking for people to come into business. That's the perspective.
That's a good one.
So
that's a good one.
If the profile is good,
okay,
you'll find a way.
And what about people who are highly skilled? And is there a way for them here?
Yeah, it is. The point is, all the highly skilled employees, generally they need a local sponsor.
Okay, so someone can open a company and can sponsor themselves for a highly skilled?
They can do. The point is, sponsor yourself in Spain is tricky.
Tricky, okay.
Because formally you are not allowed to do that.
Okay.
Of course, this is changing because people are incorporating companies.
So it's better to open a company and then show your home country and do an ICT.
Because that's 100%.
No, but let's say if a business entrepreneur, and there are businesses like in pharmaceuticals, chemicals, whatever, they want to open a company, but they really want to send their employees.
ICTs
for employees
and for owners.
Also.
Both options.
And highly skilled.
Highly skilled, it's only for
employees. So let's just talk that if somebody wants to send an actual representative or a manager of employee, and for themselves, ICT is the best. For directors, senior position managers, shareholders, owners, proprietors, whatever, ICT is the most preferred way. But for employees, highly skilled can work as well.
Yeah, sure, but the salary standards are higher.
So I believe under 30 is 30,000 euros.
Exactly, and over 30 is 40,000
annually.
Yeah.
Which which is still very low when it compared
it's a high salary from a local perspective, but not from an international.
And not also from a European perspective.
Exactly.
It's very cheap.
For example, for a highly qualified residence permit in France, the minimum salary is
64,000.
I think it's 55.
I just received something from our French lawyers, and it's 64,000. It has now from 1st of November become 110% or 210% of the local minimum wage.
Okay.
Yeah, and this note was just given to me 2 hours back.
Compared to that,
It's peanuts.
cheap.
It's peanuts. I think I mean what we need to do, understand about the business, about the cities which you told, Barcelona, Malaga, Madrid, Valencia. These are the big cities. Industry wise, we talked about tech and agriculture. All kind of businesses are thriving here, and Spain is a big economy which is now inviting pro business people, and there are fastest routes pretty much to get to Spain in 20 days. I think there is nothing much left to say. There is.
I would say that Spain is trying to improve,
Yeah,
which is important. It's the first step. And then this means that there's opportunities.
there's opportunities.
That's
I mean,
up to
at the end of the day, business people are always looking for opportunities and a gateway.
You need to understand that Spain, it's updating themselves, and if it's updating, means there's opportunities.
That is fantastic. Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Gracias.
De nada.